Insecurities. So what are insecurities? Simple definition is when you think you're not, like, something you have is not up to standard or is not good enough, then we say that's an insecurity, like you're insecure about something. Say, for example, me, the example I always give you with my head and everything else, my body and my abilities. Uh, if I think that my head is not the way it's supposed to be, I use things like this to cover it up. I use hats, because I'm trying to hide that what I'm insecure about. You either do that or you overdo it. You over everywhere you go, you always making fun of yourself and your head. Everywhere you go, you're always talking about it. It just shows you haven't accepted it yet. So you're trying to compensate that not accepting it by accepting it on the outside, but really it's because you are really struggling to accept it on the inside. And really, it's when you think about it, it stresses us. It gives us sleepless nights when you're insecure about something. But when you think about it in actual sense, there's no standard. There's no, like, universal way that heads should look like. There's no universal way of how legs should look like or how hips should look like. Like, God, in fact, is a marvelous creator, because when he puts things in place, he's just trying to exploit his creativity. Imagine everyone is just special in their own way. We all look different. We all think different. We all act different. We all see things differently. So there's no need to be insecure about anything, because you have to really just tell yourself that there's no standard of heads or hips or asses or boobs. Like, that's just how it is. You have your shape, be happy with what you have and accept it. you know but really, what I really want to talk about in this particular video is where these insecurities come from, because they may come from a legitimate place. For example, if I'm a father now, and if I'm spending all my money in the club and I'm not taking care of my family, and I'm insecure about that, then that's a legitimate insecurity, and that is something I need to address, because it needs to be taken care of. That's not how it's supposed to be, you know. But some insecurities are not legitimate, like they're just smoke screens, like let me share with you my personal experience about where my insecurities came from. My insecurities about my abilities, my insecurities about my body shape, my head, my everything. It came from really how I grew up. My parents criticized regularly everything that I did, you know, everything, how I cut tomatoes, how I sat, even how I chewed. Like, the way you're chewing, you're making too much noise chewing, you know. And instead of showing me how to do it, they chastised me for not knowing how to do it. So I felt very stupid, I felt like I had something inside me fundamentally wrong, and I will never match up to anyone. So uh, I hid, I'd rather not participate in something than participate and embarrass myself. I know myself. I know I'm not going to be able to do it, So I'd rather just stay away than try, Or the other direct opposite way of dealing with it, which is overcompensating, I over most of my friends who I've been with, they'll tell you, like, I'm too good a friend. I'll do everything for you. I'll buy you lunch. I'll buy you whatever. If I have the money, I'll do it for you. And it's just that I just feel empty, and I just want you to say that I'm good, and I don't want to lose you as a friend, because I feel so inadequate. I just need you here. So it's a certain form of neediness that it creates inside of you. And parents, when you're raising your kids in this kind of way, chastising them and criticizing everything they do, I was beaten like a dog for just pouring sugar on the floor. Some of these things, you're enforcing in them the belief that they are not able to do anything. And then what happens? They go out there believing that they can't do anything, and then when they try to attempt something, they don't put as much power behind it, because they actually don't believe that they can do it. They're just doing it to go through the motions. And when they don't put as much power behind what they're doing, then it ends up not succeeding, and then it ends up reinforcing what you told them, that they're failures. But in actual sense, the failure came from you, a parent, me as a parent, telling my kid that you're stupid. You can never do this. If someone out there on the road tells me I'm stupid, it will probably hurt me for 2 minutes. But if my mother tells me that I'm stupid, if my father tells me that I'm stupid, man, that is gonna last with me for a very long time. Now we are talking about them doing this to us, or to whoever the parents do it to, for a very long time. We're talking about 18 plus years of this kind of treatment. You're literally left like a shell. Anybody uses you and just dumps you. Nobody respects you. Nobody really sees you as worthy, because that is how you view yourself. You can be super talented in something. You can be brilliant in so many things that you do, but that thing inside your head tells you can't do it. You're not good enough. You'll never add up to anything, because it came from your parents. It came from the people who raised you. But I just want to tell you that is just absolutely not true. Because they don't know you, first of all. They don't really know what you are capable of. They're just using their subjective projections. They're just projecting the things that they would want for you. Even people, when they tell you, you can't play like this, you can't do this, really, they're just projecting what they would want for you, or they're projecting what they themselves do. So if I can't dribble a ball with my left hand, and I see someone trying to dribble with their left hand, I'll shut that down. You can't do it. You can't do it. But really, I just want them not to do it, so that we can be together. I don't want him to learn how to use his left hand, and I haven't learned how to use my left hand. So this thing that you are criticized and you're put down by your parents, just the way you're raised, is not really conducive for you. You believe that, and that is why you end up being very insecure about those things. But like we said, they don't know you, and those things are actually not true. If you look at yourself and your abilities, you will realize that you're so much better. I got compliments from so many people, like I'm very good with the mic. So I would go out there, I would get the mic, and I would do my thing, and everybody would be like, hey, man, that new MC is just dope, is just on point and stuff. But those compliments to me were sarcastic. How can you say that I'm good? I'm not good at anything. So if you don't deal with your insecurities, then you end up transferring them to your kids. For example, if I don't deal with the fact that I think my head or my abilities are not good enough, I have a son now, and if I see his head looking like mine, it may end up looking like mine. If I still feel inadequate about my abilities, and I see him not doing something right, I'm gonna just treat him the same way that I was treated, because I hate myself, and I am seeing myself in you, and that is what I am fighting. I am fighting myself in you. I am fighting me inside my son. And instead of all this, instead of just going through all this generation after generation, why can't we just decide to just take a stand and change things? Just from here on, we've been abused. A lot has happened, and the people who abused us, they abused us because they were also abused. So it's been a cycle. It's nobody's fault. Nobody is to blame. It's just how things are. And now that we know, now that we're here, we have to do something about it. And the way you go about it is, you have to see the silver lining in that whole abusive cycle, so that you can be able to get out of it. Like, personally, the criticism that I got made me really thorough in everything that I did. So when I'm washing something, when I'm writing something, I just put everything in there, because I don't want it criticized. I'm gonna look ndaiangalia from the top, from the bottom, from the side, from everywhere, just to make sure that it's good. So that is what it did for me. and I'm very happy. And I'm very happy for that portion of my life, you know. So once I accept that, it becomes easier for me to even forgive the people that did that to me, and even to forgive myself, you know, because it wasn't all bad. It helped me in some way. I'm not going to forget that you abused me, and I'm not going to give you another chance to abuse me. That is not happening, you know. I'm not going to let you abuse me anymore. So if you want to abuse me, we're not going to have a relationship, you know. But you're forgiven, you know. I don't have any beef with you or anything, but we are not going to have a relationship if you still want to continue in that same abusive cycle, you know. So look at yourself, see what you went through, and appreciate it. Look at the silver lining in it. It's tough, it's difficult, but you don't want your kids to go through what you went through. And that is enough motivation to change.